This is the skull. We're going to talk about the components of the skull from the underside. Starting back here at the occipital bone, we have the external occipital protuberance. Moving upwards, you have the external occipital crest. This area is the foramen magnum. On each side here, you have the occipital condyle. This is the mastoid process of the temporal bone. These points that stick straight up are the styloid process of the temporal bone. You have the external acoustic meatus, also on the temporal bone. These notches here are the mandibular fossas, where the mandibular condyles fit into. And then we have these two small holes right above your occipital condyles, and those are the hypoglossal foramen. Above those you have kidney-shaped holes that are your jugular foramen. Directly above those you have your carotid canals. And the most circular holes here and here are the foramen ovale. We can also see this part, which is the vomer, this flat area. This area is part of your palatine bone. And then you have the maxilla here. And this hole here is the incisive fossa. This is the inside of the cranium. Here is part of the frontal bone. This tree-shaped section is part of the ethmoid bone. The line right down the center is the crista galli. And the areas that dip down and come up the sides of the crista galli is the cribiform plate. Within the cribiform plate you have many small holes. Those are your olfactory foramina. We move down to this butterfly-shaped bone. This is the sphenoid bone. On the sphenoid bone, you have the lesser wings, the greater wings, this center dip is the hypophyseal fossa of the sella turcica, which is this area. This is where the pituitary gland hangs out. Then you have your optic canal. Your foramen ovale is here. Then we're going to move down into the temporal bone here. You can see the internal acoustic meatus on either side. These are the jugular foramina, jugular foramen, the foramen magnum, which is part of the occipital bone here. These two small holes are the hypoglossal canals. And these two areas right here are part of the parietal bones.